patches of brilliant starlight visible between each treetop. They gave off just enough light to see the outline of the goat pen a few yards away, but not enough to see the goats in it. Blake could hear them, though, bleating in sharp, anguished tones. He hesitated, the cool night wrapping around him. There were no crickets chirping, no owls hooting, nothing but the goats. It felt wrong, like the rest of the night had been artificially muted by something that didn't belong here, an unnatural force worse than any banshee. Blake shivered, wishing he had grabbed a jacket and a flashlight and maybe a weapon. He thought of his friend Jeremy and what had happened to him just weeks ago and almost sprinted back to the yurt. But in the end, it was just a glorified tent. If there were something truly dangerous out here, he doubted its walls would protect him no matter what deals his uncle had made. So he forced himself to walk toward the goat pen, the grass whispering against his bare feet. When he reached the gate, he could just make out the goats all huddled together in the nearest corner like one trembling mass. All except one. Waffles lay motionless on his side in the middle of the pen, the white, star-shaped fur on the top of his head almost glowing against the dark. The night breeze picked up, and beneath the ever-present smell of goats, Blake caught a whiff of fresh-turned earth and the metallic tang of blood, the scent of new death. He made a small, involuntary sound, his fingers trembling as he yanked back the lock on the gate and pulled it open. He stepped inside, careful to shut the gate behind him, and moved closer, still staring at that sad, crumpled form, lying in the starlight like one of his baby sister's abandoned toys. Closer still, and he noticed the scuff marks in the dirt, like the goat had been dragged. And then something moved next to Waffles. Quick, furtive movement, like a spider scuttling out of the light, only with way too many legs, hundreds of legs, and a long body a few feet in length and thick as his waist, all of it the same color as the night-washed grass. As it crawled around the goat, it made little clicking noises like a dog's nails against a hardwood floor. Terror trickled down Blake's spine, icy and numb. He put a hand over his mouth, choking down a scream. The thing stopped moving abruptly, all of those legs still. Two long stalks on the top of its head trembled in the breeze, flicking forward and back, and then pointing right at him. Blake was very aware of the beating of his heart, the hitching sound of his breath, the noise of the other goats. He could feel a lock of hair sliding against the side of his face, the rough texture of the cropped grass under his feet, his pajama bottoms, baggy and comfortable, and the absolute silence of that impossibly large insect, the weight of its full attention bearing down on him. Abruptly its torso bunched, and it sprang forward, all of its legs moving furiously fast as it sprinted right at him. Blake screamed and ran blindly across the pen, scrabbling at the gate, dragging it open. He wasn't fast enough. It hit him in the back of the knees, knocking him sideways into the grass, its tiny legs already moving over him, pinning him down. It reared up, half its body lifting like the striking head of a cobra, and Blake glimpsed something underneath that looked almost like a face, with dark, soulless eyes and slits for a nose, and where a mouth should have been, a pair of serrated mandibles, dripping some strange yellowish liquid that gleamed in the starlight. He realized he was still screaming, but couldn't stop, the sound of his own terror echoing in his ears, sharper and more desperate than any goat cry, as that insect-like head lowered over him, those mandibles clicking, extending. Crack! The creature flew off him and landed on the ground with